Star Trek Generations may have bombed critically, but it made more than enough to greenlight Star Trek 8. Ron Moore and Brennan Braga were both brought back to do the script, excited that they could now do the story they wanted to do without any of the restrictions being put on them like last time. Then Rick Berman told them they had to make a time travel story, damn it, because the best of Trek involved time travel. Except, of course, Generations, the last frickin' movie they made. But since it worked out so well last time, why not do it again? And just as flimsy. Trek's time travel has often been sketchy, and while it won't bottom out quite like it did in Generations, the implications of it are again ignored. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Moore and Braga wanted to do the Borg, which, as we've noted in our journey through those episodes, haven't really been seen in force since Best of Both Worlds, and for two obvious reasons. Even the limited effects of that story were very expensive, and there's only so many times the Borg can invade without it getting ridiculous. The Borg nearly won in their single attempt, and it was thanks to numerous long shots that it was averted. And after that, everything changed. It was now a post-359 Federation, with the question always in the back of their minds, when would it happen again? And could they pull it off? A fleet couldn't stop them, Earth's defenses couldn't stop them, even the Cisco couldn't stop them. The Borg offered more as a threat, as seen in Iborg, than the chance to just do the whole thing all over again. At the same time, bringing the Borg to the big screen was a natural move. They were as powerful a foe as the TNG crew had that involved a traditional bad guy with a big ship. Getting the chance to realize such an enemy and a confrontation within a film's scope and budget was ideal. Bringing in time travel less so, and it damn near turned this into what would surely have sent the franchise down in flames. To accommodate Berman's time travel stuff, there were ideas of Borg in the Renaissance and Borg in castles and that kind of silliness that thankfully was crushed when Patrick Stewart insisted that he wasn't going to wear tights again. Ideally, a Star Trek movie should strike a balance to please its fan base and to attract average moviegoers to come see it, providing the fans with a good helping of what they love while having the financial support to ensure more films will be coming. Out of the mess of bad ideas that led to the final film, this managed to pull it off. Or at least pull off 2 to 2.5 out of 3. The film opens with a long pullback from Picard's eye to encompass part of the massive interior of a Borg ship, giving us kind of a parallel to Fritz Lang's Metropolis. The sacrifice of the workers to the heart is taken to its greatest extreme, as the workers and the heart are now one and the same, with the Borg drones now actually a part of this great metropolis. Of course, Fritz decided for more of an example of class struggles rather than big explosions, damn it. This is all part of a nightmare sequence which introduces the upgraded Borg to the audience, no longer albinos in black leather. A clever bit was that they, as usual, only had so many costumes that they could make, so they designed the new Borg to be a series of pieces that could be fitted together to produce different combinations and thus give the appearance of more diverse drones. Anyway, we get the expected fake-out as an implant bursts under Picard's face as part of yet another dream within the dream. Picard's actually in his ready room, eternal defender of the Federation, until it's time for his nap. Admiral Lardass makes his return to inform Picard of an invading Borg cube. The Enterprise E, with all the old crew but Worf, swoops about to make its big reveal to us. It's indicative of the changes that emerge more and more from where Roddenberry started TNG. It's far more of a warship, and the uniforms now actual uniforms rather than jumpsuits. This change occurs in such a relatively small scale of time, it's interesting to think about it from the in-universe perspective. I always picture those minor characters we ran into over the years on TNG whenever we get to these movies, especially this one. Like those ones from the pre-Borg pajama era whose only job was to study geology or something, who was told all through the recruiting process about how we're explorers, not soldiers, on a mission of peace, where the Klingons were our friends, the Romulans in hiding, and the Cardassians no longer causing problems. Now all of a sudden an unstoppable monster ship related to one that tore an entire fleet apart with ease is coming to attack the Federation, and your ship happens to be the most powerful one and has an experienced anti-Borg command crew. This group here is all serious, chomping at the bit to get to the front. We never see the people 2 decks down, standing over a trash can, puking, curled up in their chair, whimpering, "I just wanted to study comets."
We're not going. What do you mean we're not going?
Well, number one, I weighed trying to save the Federation against getting physically and mentally gang-raped by the Borg again, and suggested that we guard the neutral zone, just in case the Romulans try something. They bought it. I mean, they agreed to my plan. During this, we get a good change, which is Geordi's visor getting traded in for prosthetic eyes, and a bad change, which is Gates McFadden's dyeing her hair blonde. They're adamant that they should go, especially the chief of security / tactical officer, who would be the most familiar with the status of the ship's weapons and defenses. If only he were invited to the meeting. No, 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 this is no place for you, Lieutenant Nobody. If we want a tactical assessment, we have Troy here. Despite the keen tactical insight of the ship's therapist, Picard says Starfleet just isn't going to budge. They're disappointed. Meanwhile, 2 decks down, the panic has stopped as the officer informs them, yes, we are not going to see the Borg. We are going to the neutral zone. Will there be a comet, sir? Yes. First Contact starts out by going back to the episode The Neutral Zone, where the Borg really began. In that, the Borg were the real threat, but the Federation had sent the Enterprise out to the neutral zone to check on the Romulans, thinking that they were the problem. In this again, the Borg are coming, and yet the Enterprise has been sent off to the neutral zone to keep an eye on the Romulans rather than the real threat. Picard, of course, does what he always does with the Borg and stares out the nearest window. Captain's log. I've never trusted Troy's piloting, and I never will. I can never forgive her for the death of my fish. When Riker comes in, Picard fills him in on the reason for their exclusion.
Let's just say that Starfleet has every confidence in the Enterprise and her crew. They're just not sure about her captain. They believe that a man who was once captured and assimilated by the Borg should not be put in a situation where he would face them again. To do so would introduce an unstable element to a critical situation.
Riker's shocked at the suggestion. After all, there is no possible way that Picard is going to suddenly start acting irrationally and endanger the ship and crew when confronted by the Borg. No possible way. They listen in, and we have the finalized version of the Borg's standard hail.
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
The battle goes badly, so Picard orders ambiguously gay helmsmen to set course for Earth anyway, with the crew's full support. We'll soon see the Defiant, the ship designed by Sisko just to kill Borg, but without him. People have asked me to explain why Sisko isn't aboard it or in this movie, so I'll tell you. The star date Picard gives means that this is when Sisko is off hauling Eddington through the Badlands looking for the Maquis. I'm not sure that's a coincidence. We are the Borg. We cannot be stopped. We are invincible. We are sure he's gone, right? He's gone? We cannot be stopped by anyone who happens to be there. That's why he couldn't be in the movie either. It had been about 5 minutes long.
Ezekiel 25:17. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Instead, Worf is left in command of the Defiant, much to the chagrin of the backup Defiant crew. Please don't say a good day to die, please. Why do I have to be fighting the invincible enemy with the one guy in Starfleet eager to die? No, stop thinking that way. Don't be prejudiced because he's a Klingon. He's not going to just start beating the controls and going crazy.
Perhaps today is a good day to die.
Oh, shit!
Prepare for ramming speed!
I just wanted to be a botanist. Luckily, the Enterprise takes the shot for them and saves the Defiant crew, no doubt to Worf's dismay. The unfortunate part of the battle sequence is that, even with a big screen budget, there's just not enough money there for a longer sequence, so that the overall defeat of the Borg comes across a little too pat. We get some idea of it in the parts that we see, where the battle has gone on so long that sheer attrition is allowing them to now penetrate the Borg defenses, which is a good thing. Too often the Borg are given comic book-like abilities where they can adapt to anything, to any degree, so it's good to see them moving in a more realistic direction. They're extremely tough, but they're not totally wanked out invincible. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Picard's newly revealed psychic Borg abilities. Picard has no implants left in his body, but why let a little thing like making sense get in the way of a chance to pull victory out of your ass? So Picard, having command of the ship with the greatest tactical advantage, takes control of the fleet and orders them to concentrate on what is apparently some destabilized part of the ship, which blows it all up. And there's got to be something in between I'm untouchable and glass jaw. But in any case, the Borg cubes goes down in under 12 minutes, launching its escape sphere bat cycle to continue on towards Earth. Worf comes to the bridge, and everyone's pleased to see him.
Miss Worf, we could use some help at tactical.
And of course, another sign of their utmost respect for Lieutenant Nobody, Chief of Security and Tactical Officer. Yeah, have him come in. I only blew up our mortal enemy. You all couldn't take it out without slipping them a roofie. But no. Surely what you guys need is someone who thinks that a good strategy is smacking the ship into the other ship and calling it a draw.